Hello, if we've never met before, my name is Rachel, and I like to talk about spirituality, healing, transformation, overcoming suffering, overcoming challenges, how to become happier and healthier, mind, body, soul. Today, I wanted to channel a video about how spirituality changed my life. And with that, I will just dive into it. So, I like to say that spirituality changed my life because I was, kind of in the standard American lifestyle and not conscious yet and aware of my own power. Was into sports and whatever else people do. I never really fit in though to like the bar culture, or I played sports and I was never really in love with the girls on my team. I did play sports growing up, but I just struggled with finding my place and kind of who I was in all of this. I was always very sensitive and empathic and intuitive. I had a family and that fell apart when I was 16, so that was really rough. Yeah, and then I somehow made it off to college, which was tough because I had insomnia, and then my anxiety was really bad, and I ended up getting depressed and experiencing depression, which I never had before. So yeah, like college was really hard. I was sick. I did find my first boyfriend senior year of college, which helped a lot. He was kind of like my best friend and experienced anxiety, so he kind of knew what I was going through. So that was big. But then I went through this transition of leaving school and like, who am I without school, right? Because I was good at school. I got good grades and was active in school activities and such. So it was a tough transition. And then, I started that transition, and out of college, I learned about entrepreneurship and life coaching. And I was like, that's what I want to do, because I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. But the really huge turning point was going through my first breakup, because I had started to got into like the universe and law of attraction a little bit, and books and podcasts and YouTube videos and such. But I just had this big sign, like, if you don't break up with him, or it's done, it's done now. Like, if you don't make this change, you're never going to move forward. And it was really scary and crappy, and I hated it. But that I would say was like the biggest turning point in my life up until then. And then 2 days later, I was on Bumble and I found who I always wanted. And he was interested in me, and I was like, what? Like, I never had any confidence growing up, and always thought a lot of people were out of my league that I was interested in. So it's going to be a long story. I don't know if it's a long story short, but like right after my breakup, I found astrology. So let's look at astrology, for example, as a spiritual tool that has helped me change my life. So there's a lot more to energetics, or this reality, than what we can see and what we're aware of. There are celestial big bodies. I don't know what they are. Like the moon controls the tides on Earth, and that's not even a planet. That's Earth's moon, right? And there's other planets out there, only in our solar system, and there's lots of other planets and realities and dimensions outside of what we have going on. That's going to get way into it, but if we go back to astrology, right, those are just different energies that are at play. So each planet has its own energy and realm. And then when you were born, you had a natal chart. So when you were born, the planets were all in different houses, and they were all in a sign at that time too. So I like to use mine as an example because I know that best, right? It's just self-study. So I have an Aquarius stellium, which means 3 or more planets in one sign: Aquarius, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So the energy of Aquarius is more amplified for me, right? It's 4 times than just what one would be, right? My moon is in Libra, which is in the 10th house. 10th house is all about career. So my emotional security, my inner world, my emotions, my moon comes from my career. So for me to understand that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like no wonder I wanted to find my quote place in my business and my career so badly, because my emotional security feels at home when that's, you know, kind of tied together or coming to be, if you will. I have 2 planets in Scorpio, and I love the energy of Scorpio. I love that it's very intense and taboo and under the surface and dares to go where other people don't emotionally. So my Jupiter is in there, which means my luck and abundance is in Scorpio. So my luck and abundance comes from that Scorpio realm of transformation, death, sex, the intense feelings, okay? And then Pluto is also in it, which is more of a generational planet. So because Pluto is so far out there, it takes longer to move through signs. So this is kind of like I think even like 1989. I don't know the exact years. It might be like 1989 to like 98 or something. But my Pluto is in Scorpio in the 12th house. So that's kind of all of that is the same kind of energy. Pluto's all about transformation and Scorpio's all about death, sex, transformation. And the 12th house, or sorry, 8th house is Scorpio, but they're kind of similar. 12th house would be like under the surface, like it's ruled by hospitals and like asylums. So I would have to look up exactly what Pluto, Scorpio, 12th house is all exactly, but you kind of get the gist. So for me to understand myself as a soul was really, really helpful. And there's like different times in our history where different planets were in different places. So like sometime earlier this year, Pluto moved into Aquarius, and the last time that happened, America went through like the American Revolution, from what I remember seeing. So, right, that's all about power to the people and big riots and uproars, right? Like we need to get all this power to people, not only the elite few. Right now it is Venus retrograde. So if you've noticed your relationship's kind of going like haywire, like miscommunication, you know, it's moving backwards a little bit right now. So that's happening. We just had an eclipse on Friday and it is Tuesday. Literally Thursday afternoon, I started to get moody and emotional. I've been crying on and off up until yesterday, last night. So eclipses are all about times where, oh, I got a hangnail. My nails are so dry. It's almost spring and summer. Where things happen and it's I don't know, it's kind of an eclipse portal. It's like you go in one way and you come out completely different on the other side. Like, so a lot of intense emotions are happening very, very quickly. A lot of events and transformations happen in a very short amount of time. So we had that going on. And then there's also like the Schumann resonance, and the sun is like shooting off energy to our planet that's hyping emotions and energies up, and that's been happening for like years. I don't know, I'm still not into all of that, but you know, just different energies at play are affecting us, right? Our body's made up of mostly water, so a lot's going on. We have a lot happening at this time on the planet. So that's one part, okay? Astrology. If I get into spirituality, if you look at my journey more, I mean, I found, you know, like yoga even in college. I found crystals. I found not tarot cards, but oracle cards. I did find like spiritual groups online that I could go to and just talk to people about spiritual things. I found spiritual groups in person. Like I said, YouTube, you know, podcasts, books. So I really dove into a bunch of information just to take all of that in. I have always been sensitive and intuitive, empathic, right? So my gifts really opened up with that. You can talk to your spirit guides. So right when you're born, everyone is assigned a guardian angel who will be with you your whole entire life. You can always call upon your guardian angel. For angels, you do need to ask for their help. Angels they want to help, but we need to ask them. They don't have free will to just come in and help. You have to say, guardian angel, will you please protect me throughout the rest of my day? Thank you so much for watching over me. I appreciate you. There's SOS angels for like an emergency, right? Like SOS angels, please come in and help me. I can't find this thing that I lost that I need to bring to someone tomorrow. Will you come in and help me? Thank you. There's a great book that Sonia Choquette has written that I screenshotted and I read one time. So she goes into all the different kinds of spirit guides. Ancestors and loved ones. can be obviously people that you can connect to. They often talk to people through coins, feathers, songs, numbers, lyrics. Sorry, I just got a text. Spirit guides. Masters, or sorry, loved ones. You can talk to them all the time. They want to hear from you. Obviously, when people are on Earth, they can make a lot of choices. So sometimes down familial lines, like families aren't completely perfect. Humans, when they were on Earth, made choices, and that can kind of run through familial lines. So they might have a lot of, insights for you. But also be wary that if you want to break up some karma and patterns, that job might be yours. Meaning you can even just send an intention back, like, hey, like, doing healing work down my line, I know that there was some family members that came over to America from Poland, and one of the kids died, and I had a fear for a while of being found out. And they were afraid of being found out because if they were found out, they thought that they might have to throw the kid overboard. So something like that, I can say, like, hey, ancestor, will you please take this fear back? I don't want to carry this fear around anymore, right? I want to be free from that fear of being found out. Thank you. That's yours, not mine anymore. As an example, if you uncover something like that. I've been in a healing where when I was in my mom's tummy still and I wasn't born yet, I was picking up on her anxiety, and my body was still remembering that anxiety. So even in that sense, right, it's like your cells are remembering energy. So like, okay, I choose to be free from this. You have to set that intention and choose to forgive and choose to let go and surrender. Masters, teachers, and loved ones for spirit guides. So someone like Buddha, Jesus, Kuan Yin, those would be, like, they were people on Earth, right, for probably multiple lifetimes even before that, but then they had quite a big role to play on Earth, and they're not going to incarnate here anymore. So that's someone who's going to have a lot of wisdom and knowledge that you can call upon, right? Even other gods or goddesses, Athena, Persephone, what are other goddesses? Isis, Hathor, Green Tara, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, White Buffalo, and Sophia Dragons. Those are all from the book The Sophia Code, which I highly recommend that work and book. Kaya Ra is literally an angel. She's beautiful inside and out, so I highly recommend her work. Yeah, so that's spirit guides, masters, teachers, loved ones, angels. Crystals and yoga. So moving your body in a very mindful way, like Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, like there's energy centers all throughout your body. So if something's blocked up, whether it's because there's an emotion or toxin or chemical, or a physical stressor or trauma, then energy can be blocked up, right? It's Qi in Chinese medicine, and then it's prana. Is that a Sanskrit word? I think it's just life force energy. So if there's energies that are blocked up because something's getting stuck here, you can work to clear those out. And that's why I just look at the body from that spiritual and energetics perspective. Highly recommend The Emotion Code and Body Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson for work like that. You can do like Reiki and energy work. So that would be, so we have chakras, we have 7. Some people have more, or yeah, they're like activated, I guess, kind of. But the root chakra would be about safety and basic needs, and then the sacral chakra would be a couple inches below your belly button, and that would be for emotions and sexual energy and creativity or creative energy. Solar plexus is going to be power and confidence. Heart chakra is obviously love, compassion, able to give love, able to receive love. Throat chakra is speaking your truth. Third eye being your clairvoyance, and then crown chakra is going to be connection to the divine. So like a crown chakra block would be like, why God spites me, like God hates me, you know, like I don't believe in any divinity, like I don't believe in my higher self, you know, just can be kind of cut off from something bigger than you. So if you're really struggling to find your purpose, you might be like, well, what's blocked up here, right? Why is there a block right here that said I can't be open and I can't receive and I, you know, can't feel loved, whatever it is. So that's chakras. Crystals are obviously a big one. So crystals just have different energetic properties. So rose quartz would be a popular one for self-love. Moldavite is a big like transformational, you know, kind of like the eclipses I was talking about. If you want a lot of stuff to change in your life, people talk about moldavite a lot. The black ones like obsidian and hematite isn't black, but it's kind of like a charcoal. Those would be good for like boundaries and like this is my bubble, protecting yourself. But even colors have different energies, right? So blue, so all those chakras I talked about how all have their own color, but like I've always been drawn to more of the cool colors. I don't really like orange or red. I have been more drawn to I've been drawn to like yellow. In my life, I've been drawn to like pink, blue, green, yellow. Probably more pastel and bright colors rather than like I make this face like mossy, you know, like that puce color. Like those aren't colors that I like. I very much like the very bright and like even this mustard color I don't really like. Royal purple, I'm like, oh yes, I really like this. There's pink polka dots on a blanket behind me. So even colors have frequencies, right? So if you want more of one certain color and you're very drawn to that, just notice how you feel when you look at that color, right? My water bottle right behind me is kind of like this turquoise, actually. Kind of turquoisey, like a mix between these colors. How else has spirituality changed my life? Astrology, and then just looking at, like relationships as souls. So you can obviously tell in your life when you would have like a soulmate, and a soulmate is someone who you walk with life with, and they're your friend and you trust them and you help each other on the path. There's also going to be those people who very much trigger you, so they're a part of your path and maybe you really cared about them, but then they brought up like really big feelings. And then there's also going to be people that are kind of more that neutral, like a cashier that you run into or someone that you run into on a walk. So when I look at spirituality and the energy of souls, you know, what were the reasons why I met this person versus this person versus this person? I had been on the twin flame journey, so that was a part of that too, right? There's a lot of noise in that community, so it's not the only thing I talk about because I've just, you know, it's been so much part of my journey. Again, I can only speak for mine, and I have talked about it in videos and podcasts before, but you know, only unconditional love can exist between twin flames, and you really learn big lessons, like you need to each become your own person. Like someone else can't complete you, even though they feel like your perfect complement and lover and friend and home and everything in another person that you've always looked for and longed for, but you have to find it inside of yourself. So that's been huge. And yeah, just, you know, finding your purposes and your passions. So for me, like, I know I need to speak. I know I need to get in front of people and share my story, but I'm very Aquarian, right? That's all about ideas and communication. I also love to write books. I've written a book. I have many more books that I know that I will write. I'm working on another one where it's just all these ideas and words are in my head. They just come out on a paper so easily. You know, even when I was a little girl, I loved creative writing in 5th grade. I loved it. That is so fun to do. I love being outside and in nature. Nature is a huge one for spirituality, you know, like touch a tree. What's the tree want to tell you? Do you want to hug it? Like, notice how it just sits there year round and it's literally growing from this planet that we live on that's alive, right? There's elements. We have the 4 elements: water, fire, earth, and air. What do those elements want to teach you? And they all have different properties and qualities again, right? Air is very ideas and communication. Earth is going to be strong and grounded and stable. Fire is very fiery, right? Comes in and changes your life, transforms you. And what's the last one? Water, which is very emotional. And it's more dense, right? If you put your hand in water, you can feel it. There's resistance as you push it, compared to air, where there really isn't resistance, right? Or earth, there's going to be resistance. Like, you can't just push through it. Fire, you can push through it, but you get burned. So what do all those things want to teach you? There's also different spirit guides that are animals, right? You can connect to animal guides and spirits. What does the energy of a tiger feel like versus the energy of an elephant or a deer or a dolphin or even an insect, a bee? Anything else? I touched on a lot, but I didn't even touch on, like, I guess, philosophy or, quote, religion. So there's the religion versus spirituality kind of debate, right? Like, I just find the spiritual stuff embodies all of it, because there are some things from Christianity that I like, right? Like, I think Jesus was a real person. I know he was a healer. I know he was compassionate, which I very much resonate with. But Buddhism was, like, kind of the philosophy and religion that I found that I really, like, made sense to me, because suffering is a part of life. So to become enlightened, like, you need to walk on that path, and that's how you become happy. And I'm like, yep, that's what has been what my experience has felt like. But there's also the part to Christianity or believing in God where I've had to surrender so much and release so much and just let go to something much bigger than me. Like, I've also had that experience. But there's also the experience that I believe in, that there is, like, a God, like, God is within me too, right? And I can feel it more when I'm dancing or connecting to people or being outside in nature or, healing my body with food, whatever it is. So yeah, if you have any questions about spirituality or about any of the things I talked about on how I can maybe help you find your purpose, your passion, help work through blocks that are in your body, whether it is chemical, physical, emotional. I can help people lose weight and eat healthier. Whatever you need or want, or you want some guidance or support on, you can reach out to me. I will put my email down below. It's rachelroxanne1111@gmail.com. But yeah, I am sending you a lot of love, compassion. Namaste. I'll see you soon. Bye.